Well, it is the appointed hour, and I will call to order the November 22nd meeting of the Oklahoma City Riverfront Redevelopment Authority. Item 2 is items from the chairman. We've got a couple on here, but before we get to those, I've got just a few comments and information things to pass along. For those of you that hadn't got an update on Pat, he's doing extremely well. Getting around, his mobility is good, and he's doing very well, so that's very encouraging. He is at home. The boat parade this year has been canceled. That notice went out yesterday, if you weren't on the email list, so that I think it was December the 7th or 8th. Yeah, it was. So, you can take that off of your calendar. He hopes to have it next year. He's got a little more time to fundraise. It was strictly losing some sponsorships, and it was a funding issue. Not that he didn't want to do it anymore, but I hate to hear that. And the third item is on the stakeholders meetings that we have quarterly. We have discussed that with some of the stakeholders and some of the trustees, and we decided to move those to an annual meeting. We'll be having the first one of those probably in the right after the first year or beginning of spring. We'll be putting a notice out to all the stakeholders. They'll probably become more of an informational meeting where we can talk about things that have happened since the last meeting and things that are coming up. We will have the ability to send informational items out to the stakeholders through an email group if we have something we want them to know or hear about, or if any of them have something they want to put out to the rest of the stakeholders, we can certainly facilitate getting that information out to them. But the quarterly meetings sometimes we'd struggle with what we were going to talk about, so we've elected to move that to an annual meeting. And we'll be putting that notice out. Item A, under items from the chairman, A and B both are items that just came out of the Development and Water Use Committee. You'll actually have a voting item later on in the agenda for those. Kathy, you want to?
Yes,
okay.
Mr. Chairman, the committee met prior to the trust meeting today, and we discussed both items. The revised policy on the renaming, that's pretty much housekeeping. It doesn't change anything. It pretty much is refreshed the policies. And then the second item is the memorandum of understanding with the city and the trust and the Oklahoma River horse experiences. And so we reviewed that memorandum. So.
Good. All right, very good. Item 3 is the minutes from the October 25th meeting. Are there any changes or corrections?
Move approval.
Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item 4 is a consent docket. Motion to receive the oil and gas revenue report, little that it is.
Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item B is to receive the Oklahoma River Cruisers event update. Any questions on that? Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item 5 is the primary agenda items. Item A is to receive the Oklahoma River Maintenance Project update.
I was reminded to smile. So, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, trustees. My name is Sam Slayton. I'm the Oklahoma River Projects Manager for the Department of Public Works, and we have 4 items on this month's maintenance report. Item number 1 is Project MC 0458. That's just our general maintenance that we do on the river. We had a storm back in October 16th that damaged 2 of our security cameras. The first was the downstream hand tilt zoom camera, as you can see on the screen. It apparently was struck by lightning and had to be replaced. The second one was the upstream camera located at the Eastern Avenue Dam. Once we got the camera down, it appeared that it had received a pretty substantial power surge, so it could have also been a lightning strike. On Project MB 0937 Phase 2, That is the Public Works River Maintenance Facility. The estimated completion date for this entire project is still March of 2017. As you can see, that's the conceptual design rendering, and hopefully that's what it's all going to look like when we get done. But the project is currently on schedule. In fact, we've been working, because of the limited area out there in which to operate, we've already been working with the contractor to allow us to put certain items into use before the project is actually finally accepted. This is a photograph taken in June of 2016. This is the main maintenance building location back when they started the dirt work. The next photograph you see there is the pouring of the concrete of the, it's going to be the office area, training area, and workshop area. That was taken on September the 27th. The second photograph is the work bay where the boats will actually be able to be pulled indoors and operated in a dry dock manner. On June 8, 2016, that's what the dirt work looked like where our above-ground storage facility is for the boats. November 1st, 2016, that's what it looks like now. They have completed the roofing on it and all the sides, and the electricians are actually putting conduit in now. Alternate number 3 is the equipment pad located down at the river level. The equipment pad was poured. We brought in one of our work platforms to make sure that everything was going to be sitting at the proper elevation, and it's going to work well. The alternate number 2 was the adding infrared heat to the floating boat dock. As you can see from the photograph, the heaters have been installed, and electricians are currently hooking up the electricity. Project MC0531, that's the structural repairs to the May Avenue Dam. If you remember, we put this out for bid last year, and the bids came in way too high and over budget, so we had to take it back to the drawing board, get it redesigned, and we will be receiving bids on November the 29th. If the bids are acceptable, we expect that the award of the construction contract would be on or around December the 6th, and work expected to take 120 calendar days. And hopefully we will get started mid-December of 2016 and finish in April of 2017. We are, for those that don't remember, that's what the May Avenue Dam looked like during its construction. Many years have gone by. This is what it looked like in 2007. And time has gone on, and normal wear and tear has caused the need to clean, repair, and paint all the metal surfaces. That includes sandblasting and rust preventive. Patch and repair damaged concrete surfaces from spalling and some minor cracking. And finally, cleaning all the gate seals and checking any seals and possibly replacing those that need to be replaced. And final item on the list is the Boeing Aviation Volunteers River Cleanup. If y'all remember back in September, we talked about this pilot program of stormwater water quality. We had a safety briefing out there on October the 15th, and this event started at 10 o'clock a.m., ended at 12 noon. One of our stormwater quality personnel, Derek Johnson, is the one giving this safety briefing. Boeing Aviation showed up with 19 volunteers to participate in this event, and we had 3 stormwater quality representatives on site as well for this 2-hour deal. The cleaning was concentrated around the wetlands near Western Avenue and I-40. As you can tell, the area catches a great deal of debris from the floating debris, styrofoam, cups, plastic bottles, driftwood. Primarily because of where it's located, the wind's blowing out of the south, just kind of funnel it all into this location. The volunteers did a wonderful service. They got down there in the muck and the mud and picked it all up. And you can see the clean shoreline there, how much of a difference they've made. Fortunately, and the timing was right, where the water levels had actually been reduced a little bit to help the contractor on the river maintenance facility pour that concrete pad at the water's edge, so they were able to get down and get a lot more of the debris cleaned out. This was just a shot where you can see what it looked like beforehand on one side and after they cleaned it up on the other. So anyhow, a total of 1,385 pounds of trash and debris was picked up, which filled up 86 large trash bags. Public Works would like to thank Boeing Aviation for their time and efforts. The next scheduled event is set for April the 1st of 2017. At this time, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Chairman, I had a question on item 3. If I understood you correctly, did you say that last time this was put out for bid, the bids came in too high?
Yes, sir.
So what happens this time if the bids are too high?
Well, we've got, because of our fixed budget, we have a limited amount of funds. We may then have to come back and get with the Department of, the Director of Public Works and find out what we absolutely have to get accomplished and go at it from that aspect. But the bids were like 1.8 million, which was 3 times what we had available.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Need a motion to receive that report?
So moved.
Cast your vote. Passes unanimously. Item B is to receive the MAPS 3 projects update. Mr. Todd is in the house to give us that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. David Todd with the MAPS program manager. I'm glad to be here to give you this update. Okay. Here's a list of the projects that we've done on the river. The race course lighting, of course, was done in 2014. Starting system was finished in 2013. And then we had what we call Phase 2, Projects 1 and 2, which included the judging platforms. It included the actual race course marking system. It included video and audio, new speakers, and a new fiber optic backbone. And there was a video scoreboard in there, those kind of things that helped enhance the area. And then Project 2 had some other things in there. And then the whitewater facility was Phase 3 that opened just this year with $39 million investment there. So not only did we do things that are right there at the boathouse district, but also along the river. And right now the most significant one has been the West River Trail that extends from the Meridian Landing there at Meridian Avenue and follows the river up around Crystal Lake and then out west all the way and connects with the Overholser Trail at 10th Street. And that was completed last year and opened and has been in use for almost a year now. Here's some of the amenities that we had with the West River Trail. There's a parking lot that was built in order to give people an access point to the trail. There's a shade and picnic table pavilion and then some of the wayfinding signs that we have out there. And this is a shot of the trail itself going underneath the railroad bridge. There's a structure there to protect walkers, runners, and bikers from anything that might come off the railroad. Another shot of the trail and another shade structure there next to it. One of the long, big bridges that we built, I believe there's 3 on this trail to cross the various creeks that are along that path. I've got I-44 West Trail in here, which is now known as the Will Rogers Trail. Obviously, it doesn't follow along the river like the West River Trail does, but it does connect the river, and that's why we've included it here, because it connects at May Avenue at the river and then goes up through basically the I-44 corridor and connects with the Hefner Trail and Hefner Lake. So it's about 8-mile trail, $6.5 million construction. Sections 1 and 2 are under construction. This has been split into 3 sections. So 1 and 2 are under construction right now as we speak. Section 3 is scheduled to start early next year. We've had some right-of-way issues with that one that we're trying to clear so that we can get that going. But as soon as we get those cleared, it will go to council and it will be out also. Just kind of highlighting some of the projects I mentioned a while ago, the river lighting that was put in, I think really changed that area to really seem like a sporting event area. And then this was part of the Phase 2 improvements. The judging towers and platforms that you see along there, I believe they're at finish, and they're at 100, 200, 500, 1,000, and 2,000 meter points. So, and that's so that they can bring the starting system that we purchased and connect it there, and they can race down to the bottom. There's lights that are in the top of the tower. There's electricity, and the reason why they need that is because there's a compressor there that operates the starting gates because they're pneumatically controlled. This is the video scoreboard that we put in. Not a great picture, but it is there. And then this is the Phase 3 whitewater facility. I believe this picture was taken the day we did the ribbon cutting. I can tell because of the construction trucks that are still there in the foreground. But we're very proud of this project. I think it turned out really, really great. This was the day of the ribbon cutting. Most of you were probably there. And a shot from the junction of the 2 bridges looking back kind of to the southeast. You can see the main building to the right, and then way over on the left is the pump house, and you can see the freestyle channel that you're standing over, and then the competition channel to the left there. This was during the Olympic trials, during that Road to Rio period in May of this year. We're very proud that we were able to get this thing going in time for that. I think it was well received. I understand there was a lot of activity down there that weekend. Whitewater facility will attract events and tourism. I think that we still haven't reached its full potential yet, just because people are still in disbelief that we have this kind of facility here in town. I think this summer coming up, it'll be even better. So that's what we've done in the last year. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Just on the lighting, it kind of jogged my memory for those of you that aren't aware. During construction of Whitewater, there were 2 additional footings poured for future lighting poles on that side of the river. If another lighting project comes along, it would have been extremely hard to get those installed after Whitewater was finished. So those were put in, and they're there should a lighting project come in the future. And there wasn't an inexpensive cost, but it was something that the River Subcommittee felt was necessary so that you wouldn't have to worry about how to get around the Whitewater course while you were putting them in later.
That's right. It wasn't quite a now or never, but it was a now or really hard to do later. Yeah.
Right. Any other questions?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, item C is the first of the 2 items that the Use Committee met on earlier, the revised policy on naming of areas and facilities along the Oklahoma River corridor. Oh, I'm sorry. She normally hits me, but she won't because she's got a bum hand right now. I need a motion to receive that report.
Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Back to item C. If you recall, when we went through the Manuel Perez naming issue, it was discovered that there was the policy was old enough; it had a little ambiguity in it. So this revises it corrects it, brings it up to date, and so forth. Kathy, anything else on that?
That is correct. The committee approved this, so we're bringing it to the trust, full trust.
Okay. Any other questions on it?
Second.
Cast your vote. Passes unanimously. Item D is an MOU with the Oklahoma River Horse Experiences, Inc. to start the facilitation on the equestrian part. And this is just kind of starts the beginning of the putting together the project down there, and the organization is formed that will is going to hopefully raise some money and start getting those projects coming online, and this is the first of what may be other MOUs or changes to this MOU as we go through building the projects down there.
That is correct, and this also was presented to the Water Use Committee just prior to the trust, and we approved this memorandum of understanding.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
There's no compensation paid for this. I didn't see. Okay, that's not. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Any other questions? Okay. Motion? It passes unanimously. Item E is the Riverfront Redevelopment Authority regular calendar for 2017. It's in your packet. Any questions on it? Motion? Second?
Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Item 6 is claims. Any questions on the claims? I was going to say, we didn't have any claims, did we? Okay, I'm going to skip that and go to item 7, additional item. Any staff have any additional comment?
I will make one comment on Sam's report, and I'm sure the two engineers that are left in the audience would agree with me that you can't have too many photographs of fresh concrete. See, I'm getting a lot of nods.
Any additional staff comment?
No, sir, that's one too many.
Since that was such a hit, did you bring anything else with you today?
No.
We do have the Parks Department Director's Report, Parks and Rec. Anything you want to add other than what's in the written report, Doug? No, sir. Okay. Any question on Doug's report? I need a motion to receive it.
So moved.
Second.
Cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Trustees have any additional comments? Any citizens wishing to be heard? We are adjourned.